Hello, guys. Hey, I have my girls with me.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you guys. Thank you and welcome to Ameze Live. I've got all my friends, my girlfriends with me, and we're hanging out today. Incidentally, it's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the men folks and all the women that act as fathers. They've been in the father's role, so happy Father's Day. So with me, I have Anita, the lady in red. Hello, Anita.
It's actually orange. I don't know why
It's
it looks.
orange. It comes up red. Mulala, what do you see? Is it red or orange?
I saw red.
I saw red.
It is.
Red.
It is so orange. It's like ridiculous. It is.
Okay. And then I have Miss Mulala, the lady who smiles, always smiling. So I've got Mulala. Can we hear? You know what? Is it clear enough? Anita, can you hear her?
Now, can you, increase a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit, because we want to be able to hear you. It's ladies keeping it real. This is Ameze and Friends. This is actually the maiden edition of this segment. And there are just so many things we as ladies want to talk about and need to talk about. We need to be heard, and that's what we're going to be doing. And because I have my friends with me, I have a feeling I'm going to have to break this episode into two, maybe three. I don't know. But right now, I know that we're going to do some Q&A based off of my movie, I Got Your Back. For those of you who haven't seen it, well, there might be spoilers. So go ahead and see the movie and let me tune back at a later time. No, don't go anywhere. Stay. Stay. So before I do anything, I just want to ask you ladies, I'm going to start with Anita. How has been the lockdown with you? How long have you been on lockdown?
My company, we started very early, so I've been on lockdown since the beginning of March. So it's been a while. Honestly, I think I actually like it. I work in DC. I hate the drive into DC, traffic and all of that. Extra hustles that you have to go through.
Right.
So I actually don't mind it because I do work from home, and I do work better from home, really. I work better from home. Of course, I just miss the part where we are not, I'm not going out with Mulala, who lives not too far from me. We're not doing any, no girls time and everything. So that's the only part I miss, but going into DC.
Right. It's interesting you said that because I find people tell me they have had to struggle working from home. Mulala, how's it been with you?
It's been mixed feelings for me. So the first thing is we started March 18th. So that was the time the lockdown started. Initially, we were going to do rotation, but because of the numbers and the spiking, we just went full lockdown. But then at first it was a struggle because I'm used to people. So the laptop just isolated was a little too much for me. And also I'm a creature of habit and also structured. So the whole thing of getting up, take a bath, get dressed, prepare your snacks and go, it had to change. So that was a bit of a struggle for me. Eventually I got my pattern, I got my structure. I wake up, take a bath, get my breakfast and sit on my laptop. The only thing though is I think you work more because you can that laptop. You actually are glued to that laptop. Even to get your lunch is like, oh, okay, I'll get it. And you can even pass lunch if you're not so disciplined or you don't set some alarm, you'll pass your lunchtime because you're on the conference calls, you are in meetings, you are processing your work, and it's I think you do much more work. So there's that part. But then because I'm a creature of habit, I'm now used to this structure. So to go back to now getting up and getting ready, that will be another transition, something I have to kind of restructure in my life. But I do miss the human part of it. I love being with people. I miss hanging out with Anita, hang out with, my friends, my colleagues. That's just a part of me. So this has been like me, myself, and I has been, I love myself. Don't get it wrong. I love myself. But this, it's enough time with myself. It's enough. Yeah.
Interesting. That's interesting. Well, okay. So Anita loves lockdown and Mulala not so much. I, on the other hand, I didn't have a choice. I had to be going out every day. I actually would have loved to work from home. I didn't have that option, but that's me. But I do know a lot of people complain that they did better work being in the office space
Yeah.
because they just being at home makes them lazy. They're not. But my thing is when you work from home and you're working off the computer, I mean, they have a way of keeping tabs, right?
Not really. It's more of discipline. It's again, really, you just have to be disciplined. Um, of course, like if you're working for companies that do Skype and or Microsoft Teams, you have the IM portion of it where people can know if you're online because it tracks if you're online or not. But I don't know if anybody's really looking.
Yeah.
Sometimes people check to see are you
Yeah.
online or not.
Right.
But yeah, it's really more of based on trust that you're gonna do what you say you do.
Correct.
Nobody's really checking on you. So because the fact is that, especially for people who work in IT, just like I am, your work is gonna wait for you. So whether you're gonna
Exactly.
go off or not, that deliverable is due. You have to submit it. So
Right. So it doesn't matter if you want to play all that's
yeah,
on you. Okay.
yeah,
Exactly.
you're gonna make up that time because you can goof off all day, but you're probably gonna work all night. So
Yeah. Just to add to what Anita is saying, it's more of an honest system.
yeah.
So there's that part where either they trust you enough to just work from home, and there's the second part based on what you're doing, the nature of your work. Even if whatever type of work, at some point your work will speak for itself. It will show, from the quality to the deadlines you're missing. It's going to come out eventually that you were not doing your work. So I think, yeah,
Hmm.
it,
Yeah, you can't hide no
you
matter
You
can't
what.
can
hide.
hide.
Your work
You
is
can run, but you can hide.
I like that. So
Yeah.
one thing I also want to ask you, ladies. So do you think the country is ready to open up?
Uh,
Mulala.
oh, I can't say that there's the country will never be ever ready. That's the only thing. It seems this COVID, this virus is here to stay from what we're seeing, because we don't have answers. We don't know,
Hmm.
much of it. The best way is we're gonna have to learn to live with it.
Hmm.
So it's more of how they plan, how we transition, but it's not going anywhere, right? And as much as please don't get me wrong, people's lives matter. That's a given. But at the same time, if you're alive and you can't feed yourself, you are not able to buy groceries, then there's a problem. So starvation will kill you. Or you don't have money for health when you're sick, that's also going to kill you. So to strike that balance, we either have to do just let people out and do maybe a herd immunization, go that way, or just start opening the way they're opening up in phases and work from there. But the country will never, none of the nations will ever be ready. That's how I see it.
Yeah, and I agree with Mulala really because we are never going to be ready to open. But like she said, we do need to start from somewhere, and that means that people who need to go to work, you know, they should find a way to make for them to go. But again, try to make sure that we're doing social distancing. We're using the mask, because the mask. I know people say the masks don't help. The mask to help. So if you're going to be in a meeting with people, put on your mask. But if you're in your office or you're in an area where, you're not, you're not really interacting with people, at that point, take off your mask because you can't have your mask on all day. Like again, it's an issue with breathing back your carbon monoxide that you're breathing out. So we have to do it, but we have to do it sensibly.
Hmm.
I just think that for people who can still work from home, just let them work from home because really there's no point putting everybody, you know,
Right.
we have to do it. We have to get back. Like she said, I don't think that it's going to go away soon. We just have to figure out how to live with it without putting people's lives at risk. And that's just the way we need to do it.
Interesting. Actually, I think that makes sense because That's middle road. What are we going to do? We can't stay locked up forever. We don't want the economy to collapse. So
Exactly.
I think I'm interesting. That's good. That's good. That's good. Again, welcome to Ameze Live. I'm here hanging out with my friends, my lovely, lovely, beautiful girlfriends, and we have a lot of things to talk about. So for those of you who haven't seen I Got Your Back, just to give you a brief background, it's about a married couple who invited the woman's best friend. She was going through her own relationship, whatever. And then, you know, she comes to living with them and 3 becomes a crowd. Is 3 a crowd?
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
Even with your kids, 3 is a crowd, okay? So
You know, us women, we love attention. We love it, you know, to be the center of attention. Yeah, I can't say anymore.
yeah, 3 is a crowd, definitely.
3 is a crowd. That is the number. 3 is a crowd. 2, you know, interesting, because I actually had this conversation with my colleagues at work. Is 3 really a crowd? What if it's something you, well, that's a talk for another day maybe, but what if it's 3 is a crowd by intention? Like, you know, you spice up. Oh, Anita caught on real fast. Mm-hmm.
I already caught up.
I know,
Yeah.
Mulala, but is it really a crowd? Because someone had a point and said, no, not necessarily. Actually, one of my colleagues said, no, it's not.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. Because listen, yeah, people, and of course, people have their different choices and how they want their lifestyles and things like that.
Adventurous.
And if both couple want to have, you know, have to be 3 at some point, they could be, but you can't make that permanent. It's not going to work. Well, of course, we know what polygamy is, because we've been. I mean, I'm African tradition. By bet. So we know. Listen, it does not work. It doesn't. At one point, there's going to be a favorite. You know, one is going to feel left out. It's going to become ugly. Okay, so so it's, yeah, you can do the 3 whenever you guys feel like it, and then the person goes. Comes back when you invite them back in, but it's permanent. I don't think that works at all for anybody, you know.
Mulala, do you agree?
Here's my take. I agree with Anita, because I've seen it like from the polygamy side in Africa, where it just creates confusion, bitterness, anger, and competition amongst the wives, especially when he brings in a younger one, and that's the one he's moving towards, or the older one. The first one is his first love, and that's the one everybody has to answer to. I think you have to understand, as women, whether a lot of women agree or not, we love, I think we love attention. We love, I don't think we're meant to be in relationships where we're sharing. I could be wrong. For the ones that have decided to agree on a threesome, from the comments I've read before, not even a polygamous marriage, the women said that they did it so that they could keep him, because he would have gone off. So they felt it was better. So again, it comes back to us. So as Anita has put it, it doesn't work. Someone's going to get hurt in the end, you know, because emotions are complicated. It's not, okay, you have a threesome and we're happy. No, it's complicated. It's complex. So I'm not sure. For those that say it works for them, good for them, but it wouldn't work for me.
Right.
I mean, and this is gonna sound like, you know, bad when I say it, but for me, I mean, I'm saying that even if one has to have, you know, if one partner is not really satisfied, I would rather prefer to go out and do it without it. I mean, the other partner knows about it, but they're doing it with somebody else entirely, without that other partner being involved. And if the partner feels they want to go out and do it, then they should go and do it on their own. But I think all 3 being involved, I think it kind of complicates issues. I just think it's better for, say, okay, you know, I'm going to go do it with somebody else, for, you know, because I need something extra. Okay, come back and tell me about it. You know, oh, so was it good? Okay, so what did you guys do? I would prefer that. I don't want to be right there watching you do it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And Anita, that's a valid point you brought in, because I've actually heard that too before. These are talks I've had because, again, in the movie I Got Your Back, and I'm really loving where this is organically just going. We're not, this is not scripted or anything like that. One of the questions that I got, the question I'm actually taking, again, the 3 is a crowd thing. Somebody said it is. My colleague at work said is not, because that's something she always is like a sister wife thing. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, she actually got the girl. But then again, like Lala said, it was because of the guy. Do you see what I'm saying? And what she said, and this is what she said. Oh God, I'm loving where this is going, because I'm glad we can just talk. We're mature women. She said, but she's always been bi. So it wasn't.
I was going to say that. The reason she likes it is because she likes it.
Yes.
She liked it because it also satisfied her. Because she said she's bi. I knew, right? I was like, okay, there has to be something else behind her liking it. There has to be something else. So she's bi. So she brought the girl. So she's really satisfying herself. Really.
Oh.
And it goes back to what I was saying. It goes back to us. And that's, emotions are complex. It's not just, okay, no, we'll get it for him and he's happy. No. It's I think sometimes we are not real with ourselves when we say, I think we're emancipated and we're more powerful. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Trust me, I'm an independent woman, and I love women empowerment.
Love it.
I love women empowerment. I am for it. But you also have to be real. At the end of the day, you are a human being, a woman who has certain needs and emotions, and those cannot be masked by terminologies. You have to just be real, right? And others may be different, but I am dating someone, your attention is on me.
Right.
Princess, me. It's about me.
I hear you. It's all about you. No, I totally get that. I love, like I said, I love the direction this is going, because there's things that sometimes women need to hear other women who can keep it real. Okay. And again, there are women out there trying to please, and then they're unhappy. But like what's, Anita just pointed out now, there's a reason why when some women are more amenable to it is because there's something in it for them. Like exactly. My colleague said, she said, oh, well, I'm bi anyway. I've had relationships like this before, so it was fine. And she's a nice girl. And when we're not home, they have kids. She takes care of the kids. I'm like, okay. I mean, it was interesting to listen to her. I never shut down people's point of view, because it doesn't have to be mine. Now, one of the questions based off of the letter I got for I Got Your Back, they said, well, so the man eventually had, okay, this wasn't planned then, okay, in this relationship, in this marriage, when the girl came in, she ended up dating the friend's husband. So the question is, do people heal from infidelity?
That's a tough one because one, there's some people that do, but I think there's a lot of work that goes into it. You have to gain back the trust. And then also, I feel women marry for different reasons, right? If the woman married for love and kind of got hurt through that relationship because he went for someone else, it usually, there's a certain higher percentage rate destroys the marriage based on the people that I know, because the trust is broken and they can't put themselves in that pain. But you have some women, like in my culture, who marry for comfort and money. And they loved him, but that happens. They tell themselves that it's till death do us part. We're in this together, and they will find a way to live through that pain, right? So it varies, I think, with why you're in the marriage. If you're married, that I think that's one of the reasons. And two, fidelity. I think women have also found a way to, because there are a lot of women that have stayed in marriages that I know where They know the guy has either cheated on them or is cheating on them. And I have a friend who even says, oh, he's got a new one. He doesn't know I know, but he'll get tired of her. And she stays in it. So I think she's broken, obviously, but she's told herself that she has to stay in this for either for the children, or especially in African culture, she has to stay in it because divorce is not, it's not an option, or you're seen in a certain way. So it's
Stigmatized, right? You're
stigmatized, yes. So I think you can't, there's no yes, there's no one answer to that, I think, for me.
So my initial reaction would be, good riddance to bad rubbish. Really, honestly, I'm sorry, but
you don't pull back the punches, do you?
No, but I get the point, right? Again, it's what's in it for me, right? So if it's because the man is wealthy and I want to stay in comfort, and I'm going to just ignore it, then I know I'm doing it, right? I know that I'm doing it because of that. But if it's that I love the man and I've done everything for him, and hey, by the way, he's not even that rich anyhow. Really?
What if the sex is great?
That's what I was gonna say.
Again, sometimes, like I said, but then see the emotion is more when the woman loves the man more than the man loves her. So that, what I'm saying. So if you're there for the sex and you don't really care for the guy, or you don't have those emotions. See, it's when the emotions are tied. I know people say, "Oh, you're supposed to marry for love," but we don't all marry for love, and that's just the truth. Marry for other reasons, like you said. Yeah, hey, you want to be the missus, and you want to he has money. I want to take care of the other. But if it's for the emotional part of it, where you guys are both equally capable of taking care of yourselves, right? And he's cheating on you. And like, really, please go.
Please go. Please create space. Move out of the way.
But
I need the son of me.
Yeah, you would be shocked.
Don't block.
No, you'd be shocked. I have seen men, at least from where I look at the woman, and she's accomplished, and she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, accomplished, confident woman, and then you hear her story, or the way the guy is cheating on her, not even just once. You look at the guy, I think from my perspective, maybe he's good, and maybe there must be something.
She's
making more money than he is. This guy, you're even thinking,
come on,
you can do better than this.
Mulala, if he's already, if she's making more money and the sex is good, please, she can find it somewhere else. I'm sorry, honestly.
Anita doesn't care.
I don't get it either, but I see
Anita's like, please, don't block the race.
Go find it somewhere else. Because what's all this emotion for? Because now
Anita's like, you're in my view. You're blocking.
Yeah, like, get out of my way, please.
My way.
I'm providing the financial support, and you're cheating on me. Come on,
dude, what's up?
Dude. Really?
There's something important Anita mentioned. She said when the lady loves the guy more. There's something my aunties have always told me back from college, from the time of college when I was younger. They've always told me, marry a man who loves you. Don't love him so much. How do you feel? Sorry, Amy, I just had to ask. Is this something real? Is this something they've made up? Is this an advice you would give younger women? Or what's your take on that?
You mean like, okay, Anita was going to answer that.
Yeah, see, I think that, being that we are, I'm older, so I don't know about you guys. You guys are young people, so let me just say I'm older. Anyhow, but being that I'm older, right? So when you're advising younger people, you want to be a little bit careful, right? Because they're still going through, things in life, and you don't want to, because these are things they're going to come to these conclusions on their own. Usually when you're advising a younger couple, they're going to say, make sure he loves you, make sure he's that he has the ability to do well, like you're looking at how he's educated. You guys are on the same
potential,
professional, intellectually, right? Those are things that they're looking for, because I cannot tell that to my daughter right now and say good riddance, bad rubbish. I won't say that, because I know that they're at a different point. Because when I was younger, I thought, right, I wanted to marry for love. I wanted someone to marry somebody that, that, we're gonna like, forever, stay into each other's eyes, till whatever, dead to us part. it doesn't always happen. So you be very honestly, you have to be very careful. So if I'm advising younger people, I tend to pull back a little bit, because I don't want to, because me talking like that is now because I'm talking to friends, one, so I can tell you guys the way I feel. But for the younger ones, you have to kind of give the advice a little bit different, so the things they're looking for, that is important to them. So, let them experience, their life, so I don't want to make them, skeptical and think marriage is the worst. And, some people are lucky they get married and the marriage is good, so I don't like to put those kind of ideas in their mind, but they will find out on their own, later on. They will. But the best you can do is just give them the basic fundamental things they should look for in marriage. That's all.
What will they find out, Anita?
Whatever. If they make the wrong choice.
Even the sweet and then the sour.
No, if they make the wrong choice, they're going to find out that, like life is
actually. And then they're going to come after you.
Yeah, they're going to.
Like, why didn't you tell me? What if
No. Look, you can't tell. Listen, you can't really, there are things you cannot really advise people about, because they are not their things. I mean, you can tell, okay, imagine my 16-year-old self, and somebody's going to tell me, oh, look, buy an old rich man because of money. I'm going to say, what? That's gross.
Like, you
didn't have my auntie.
Like, ew, really? Old.
You didn't have my auntie said, go for the coin, forget all this stuff.
Ew, go away, like, get out. I don't want to do that, right? Now my 50 years, my
you're like, get the point.
I'm like, oh my God, that would have been a good thing. But it's too late,
Hey, it's never too late.
It's never too late. It's never too late.
Yeah, but yeah.
So I am totally having fun. Again, if you're just tuning in, either you're watching this on my YouTube channel, Ameze Live, or on my podcast, you're hearing this, Ameze Live. I have my two lovely friends with me, Anita and Mulala, and we're just keeping it real, marriage, relationship, men, women, and today being Father's Day. It's interesting. Okay, so before we came on, yeah, it's interesting. A friend of mine, she texted me actually, and then she was telling me, so I teased her because she's actually separated. She's separated now. She's been separated for quite a while. It's almost like, that's another thing too. It's been 5 years and counting. And yeah. She's been separated. You know what? She's been separated. No, that's more than that. 2012.
Back in the game, sister.
Right. Yeah. So I was like, oh, did you send him a happy Father's Day? Like, who?
I see. That's where it's
like,
at.
I'm like, the father of your kids. Like, who's that again? So that was funny. But does it matter?
So sorry. I am funny, so funny.
And she's like, who? And yeah. And she's African American, and I don't know if this even plays any role in it. I don't know, because one thing she had said was that, and she and I have talked about this before, because she had watched I Got Your Back, and she had said something which was quite interesting. She said, you African women, African meaning African, African from Peter Tosh says, as long as you're Black, you're African, but anyone non-American Black, okay? So she's like, you guys take a lot of SHIT from your man. She said that because I remember when I premiered the movie, she had actually come for my movie, I Got Your Back. She's like, and it was only the part 1 that was released, but she knew when we were doing the movie. It's like, You African women take a lot of SHIT, you know, from your man. This, you know, that will not happen. And I know a lot of my sisters that will not happen to. Do you think there's a truth to that?
Yes, I mean, there's a truth to it because it's how our parents raised us because we saw our parents go through that, right? Of course, when I was growing up, we I mean, I think the men were much better in terms of the fact that they were doing was more like a one man one wife kind of relationships, but then most of them had girlfriends outside. Okay, they all had girlfriends. Okay, and then some of them would sometimes bring some of those girls from home as a second wife. So it was in my when I was younger, it was difficult to find a man that had three wives, but you could find one that had two, and then you could find one that had one but had girlfriends. So that's kind of how we grew up. So your parent, I think the mothers, their first instinct is to protect the children because by African culture and tradition, most of the women don't have much. Everything they have belongs to the man. Okay, so if they leave that situation, the children are going to suffer because whoever is coming in, if there's already a second wife, I can assure you that she's going to be struggling for her own children. So you are leaving your kids out to roast. So most of the women don't want to do it, and that's because they know what the competition is. But I would say nowadays, right, where the women are more, because even in those kind of situations, I know I've seen some women like who were strong women. They could take up their kids. Hey, hello, the man was out of the house. I mean, they took their children with them, and they took up the. They. Let me tell you, I know a lot of people, African women, who have like all five children. All of the five children had different husbands.
Different fathers.
They didn't have the patience to stay, and they could provide for the children. So they had that option. So most people who stay is because they really don't have the option because the man is the person controlling the finances and they have no way of taking care of themselves when they leave. So they are forced to stay. But when I looked at a situation of women who had means, they stayed in after the first marriage was done, the other marriages, they stayed in their own house. They didn't move to any husband's house. They stayed in their own homes, took care of their own children, and married from their houses. So they had the means to support themselves and their kids. So that's what the situation was. So but I think it's changing now. Like we were saying that with the younger generation, the bankers and the CEOs, and they make money. I mean, they can walk away anytime. It was just when referring to those times that your friend was talking about, that was just what the situation was. It was we couldn't live because we didn't have the financial means to do it. We couldn't.
Mulala, you have the same mind.
I have the same mind. I just want to go back to my saying. What would be my belief? Women marry for a certain. When they're in the marriage, they have a reason why they're in that marriage. So, like Anita's saying, our grandparents and their parents, the women didn't have anything, especially in my culture where things belong to the man. So you see this man is either abusing you or is cheating on you, but your kids are there and you want your kids to have a future. You want them to get educated. You want them to have a roof over their heads. So you almost sacrifice yourself. So it's not that they don't know that they're being abused, but you sacrifice yourself for the future of your kids. So that's one of the things you have to give props to the African women. They were focused and they were determined that my kids are going to become someone. And then the second part of it is the stigma part. Divorce, even now, yes, there are more divorces. Women become empowered. They still have that stigma because one of the things you have to remember is we're a community, right? Your parents, you don't want to embarrass your parents. You come from those communities that are small. Yes, we're here in the US, but if you look at the communities we come from, everything about you will just spread and you don't want to embarrass your parents or your family name. So sometimes that binds you because I've seen women that are who have achieved a lot but are in crappy marriages, and I still don't understand. Maybe I don't understand the full story. Then you also have a section of my tribe, especially if anyone is listening, they should come after me. The women tell themselves, he cheats, I cheat. So everybody's happy. As long as he doesn't find out, we're all happy. So he can be doing some crappy stuff. I've even had one of my friends, was it the mother or father, right? They found out, this was in Namibia, not Zambia. They found out that the wife found out that the husband was cheating. The mother and the auntie said, it's not a big deal. What divorce? We'll just find you a boyfriend. That's not even a big thing. So, so she also does the same SIHT, and everybody's happy. I'm not saying that's right. I don't agree with it, but that's how it's working out for them. So to make that assumption that, you know, people are being walked over, I think is wrong. Try to understand. And then the other thing you have to understand is in Africa, everything is cash. So if you have no means of getting cash, you don't work as a woman. That man is your life support. Here, you leave a man, you can go on welfare, you can get government assistance, you can get credit. There are no credit cards. Okay, credit cards are now floating in Africa, but you have to have an income. You have to have certain credit history for you to get the credit. It's almost for the rich, the upper class. So where am I going? I have 4 kids. I don't work. This man is cheating on me, but I have a house. My kids are going to private schools. Where am I going? Where am I going?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I hear you guys, and I'm not going to discount what you're saying. I totally get where you're coming from. But I would say the same argument can be made here too. You find women who, even with all those things at their disposal, you know, having credit card or good on welfare, good credit, bad credit, what have you, you know. But it's interesting because when she mentioned this, and a lot of times people always say, you know, polygamy is very synonymous with Africans. But I find that even in the culture here, a lot of the men have kids. They have women. Yes, bigamy might be a big thing when you're caught and you go to jail here, I think. I'm not exactly sure. But you also find men with lots of kids by many different women. So how different really is it?
Can I say something, Amy, now that you brought that up? One of the things, maybe things are changing now, but one of the things you've pointed out, in Africa, it's rare. It's very rare, unless you just found some local champion somewhere, you picked him up. They will pay for their children. Even in the instances where they had kids outside, we had our neighbor who went and got the daughter because he felt the mother was not paying attention to her education, and he brought her. He would pay for them. So you don't go chasing for support of children. I'm not sure how things are right now, but it was the man took responsibility of his kids. Here you have child support. Like, child support is a problem. You're constantly trying to look for him. I haven't gotten statistics, so I can't really say, but from what I hear and from what I see in the environment, friends that I have, they don't take care. So again, also, they might not take, maybe they won't take the nonsense of him cheating, but they take other stuff, you know, of you know, like he's not being responsible. So there are other things that they also have to deal with.
I mean, you're right. I mean, just to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, Mulala, it's true, because African men, they're very, you know, you don't reject your child. I mean, if they know it's their child, they would accept that child, right? I mean, except they think something is wrong, that woman cheated on them, then they may say, this is not my child. But if this is their child, if they're living in a 1-bedroom apartment, that child will
Exactly.
he wants all his kids with him, you know, like my kids are all in my house. So you in Africa, you find out where the women live, they have to leave their children.
Yes.
Because we have this huge thing of being in my father's house, you know, like you have to be my father, because you being in your mother's house is kind of like, okay, you know, whose child are you? But father's house, you know, we know who you are, we know you're this, you know, you have this family. People, you know, there tends to be more respect, you know, for you, especially, you know, again, because of African type of, you know how we do marriages, right, in Africa. They investigate your family. I'm not joking. Like, they go and they check your family history. You know? Yeah, oh yeah, they do. They like, how many divorces have they had? Like, the mother, and oh yeah, more the mother in the house. You know, like, Yeah,
Wow.
those kind
You
of
guys
things.
you're so civil. My aunt just wants to know what's the father if the father has money, doesn't care whether he's had
No,
70.
oh, they do, especially in Africa. Again, and this may be a way of,
In Nigeria.
yeah, Nigeria.
Just to give you background, Mulala is from Zambia,
Oh,
right?
yeah, okay.
And Anita is from Nigeria. For those of you who think Africa is a country, it's is a continent with many countries. So I'm speaking to African women, but different parts of Africa. So something Anita just brought up now, which is not necessarily practiced in Zambia.
Yeah.
So you guys don't do all that investigation type thing like Anita was saying.
No, we do. I mean, Mulala, let me let you know. They will check if there's madness in your family. I mean, we call it madness.
No, I mean,
Oh, they do. And I'm calling madness because that's how they call it. I know you can,
you guys
no, but they will say, oh, they will investigate. Let me tell you about my culture, where I'm from. Let me tell you, if you go to where I'm from, you will not see a mad person in the street. No, you will not. No, you will not.
No, I mean, the investigation is a little intense.
Huh?
We invest. Fine, they want to know that. Okay, the first thing is he should just have money. That already gives you a tick. But then afterwards,
they just want to know you have money.
That's the first thing. Then afterwards, they would check certain things. I'm not saying they just send off their daughter. No, they do check certain things, his family. But I think you guys are intense. Like, if the family then tells them, like, they meet up, because they do meet up, they'll send the uncle, you know, the usual traditional thing. But if the family just says, no, we're fine, this is it, and especially he has money, they'll take it.
Like, no, listen, no, I'm not saying the money is not important, it is, but I can assure you that if I had gone to my father and I had this very wealthy man and they came back with an investigation that there's insanity somewhere, I mean, I'm not, and of course, it's not funny, like it's not that marriage will not happen.
But the way you do your investigation is wow.
They don't go and ask. They don't. They dig into your family history.
You can't lie. You can't lie.
They dig into your. They go and ask villagers and people who are you, like elders, and say, you know, hey, these people, you know, did they have what kind of family were they? I mean, this is more of honor, like, you know, like that was important because it's like the family. There were armed robbers or thieves. Forget it.
Well, you know what? That's
what I'm telling you.
What's in a name? That's
what's in a name?
Even back in the even in the so-called, I don't know what I should call them, Western world. I mean, even with the Europeans and the only place I think things like that are really not practiced is here, the New World. In the old world, you know, in Europe, in Europe, in Asia, and all those places, what you do is you find a girl, she's from a good home, you know, and good home entails, you know, they've done investigation to know what that lineage is, what was the father. Hey, I'm going to talk about my favorite movie, one of my favorite Hindi movies.
Oh my God, I know what this is. So I have heard the story before.
Right.
Please do tell.
It's a Hindu, it's Bollywood. It's called Ye Vadaraha. Okay. And Vikram, he passed. Anyway, so the story is is roughly based on the Daniel Steele book, The Promise. I don't know if you know that, but it's about these two people promised to marry each other. He's from a wealthy home and he proposed to marry this girl. However, the mom investigated her background and found out that the mom was like, she worked in a clubhouse or something because the father left her when she was a little girl, and the father was actually accused of murder and he went to prison. That canceled her out.
Yeah.
Basically. So that's not even hereditary. It was just that, okay, well, this happened, you know, and it's like, you can't marry you. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is even in homes in Europe, you know, the English people, Irish, Germans and what have you, you know, they look into
Italians.
They look into Italian. You know, they do. The only place I think is really not practiced is everybody got transplanted from somewhere and came here and they act with their own set of rules. But in Africa, I'm sure, as in other places, you know, they do investigate. It's just that maybe some places are more into it
More
than
intense.
others.
More intense, like Nigeria.
Yeah.
Like
Nigeria,
Benin
and then
City.
again,
But then you also have to remember, one of the things you have to remember is Nigerian population. I think if you put like 6 South African countries together, we still can't make your population. In Zambia now, I think we're 15 million. Botswana is 2 million. Namibia is 2 million. We're very so my point is we were very small communities, so people knew each other. So most of the times when they married within villages where they knew each other already. So I guess there was no need for intense investigation to go to they already knew. So
Yeah.
that could our population.
that could be it. That could be it. But
15 million is a lot.
15 million. I think even Lagos, it's more.
Yeah, more than that.
It's probably bigger.
So yours, with that population, you would meet someone who, obviously your father, it's almost like the States. I mean, meeting someone from another state. So you have to do your research. You have to investigate.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Yeah, that's one of them. So that's interesting. Again, you're listening to Ameze Life, and I'm hanging out with my friends, Mulala and Anita, and you can see we're keeping it real because there's a real women, mature women, and there's nothing new under the sun. So the topics are just growing organically, and I love that. We tried to, we answered it, you know, the question based on I Got Your Back, the movie that I made. So another question, I'm going to pick another question is, so the first question was, do people heal from infidelity? Okay, we took that, we dissected it, and then we had subplots and what have you. And then the other one is, let me see which other one is. Okay, well, we kind of treated this when we first started. It was, now the name of the wife, the character, the wife is called Kukwa. And they're saying that she should have just, we already answered this kind of, that she should have just played along, you know, like the husband wanted he was having an affair with her best friend, and that she should have just played along. She should have just turned it into, just make it a threesome. I know.
No, but see, the two different situations. Okay, so you can decide to have a threesome, right? You plan for it, but this is more than that. This was more betrayal. Okay, this is like betrayal. This is not just play along. If my husband wanted a threesome, and we both agreed to go to it, that's fine. We agreed to it.
That's different. That's what you're saying.
That's different. Yeah. But this is betrayal from both the husband and the best friend. Okay. So this is not the same at all. Of course, I will not play along. Come on, you are my friend, and then you're my husband. So that means I can't trust you any longer with any of my friends. It just goes more. It's just. It goes way more than just go and play along.
Mulala might not agree with you. I'm watching Mulala. What do you think?
Right now, I'm trying to understand what she wanted because I'm still confused. Right? Okay, so you find your man is having an affair
with your best friend.
With your best friend. That's betrayal at the highest level. But I think as a woman, sometimes we have to move out emotions. And I think that's where we go wrong and say, okay, because for me, I'm like, I'm suing your behind. I'm suing your ass. And I'm going to make sure I leave. You can have my friend and I'm leaving you with Jack. So from there, I would have worked it. And that's why I think sometimes African women, that's where I think they go wrong because the emotions come in. I've seen them. Some will say, no, he's the father of my child, so I can't divorce him. Divorcing, he wouldn't do that for you. I mean, get with the program here.
Yeah.
You've got a child. She was pregnant. You have a child to think of.
Yeah.
So why? What he's not thinking of you. Why are you thinking of? At that point, you have to change gear. And I'm not trying to. You have to change gear. Either she stays in it and agrees, and takes all that crap and says, okay, for my child, or says, you know what, the game has changed because you changed it. Regardless of what mistakes I made, you made, she made, things happen. The game has changed. So how do I benefit from this? How do I, from here, you make a plan? And I think we have to get out of emotions. So that's a dog, man.
Yeah. I mean, again, look, it's a different, this is a different thing. I mean, this is just a different playbook entirely, if my husband goes to cheat with somebody I don't know, of course it still hurts, but this is bad. This is my best friend, and so it's from both sides. My best friend's betrayal and my husband's betrayal. Come on, there's nothing that compares to that.
Well,
To stay and do.
Who's to blame? Who's more at blame here?
Both of them are to blame equally.
Oh yeah,
both of them are to blame, but there's certain things. Okay, I'm not married, so
I don't agree. I know where you're going. I don't agree.
wait. There's a certain way I look at things, right? When I was watching the movie, because Amy, you didn't. I got it from Anita at that point, so I didn't even know what I was watching, right? I had no clue what the storyline was, but just after the friend entered and some of the advice she started giving, I think that's where my point is. I think elderly women have to be talking to younger women. That's the first thing. So lack of education from our part, because there's certain things that should have clicked, right? There's certain things that were already clicking, and I was like, what are you doing? So that's the first thing. And then two, I think younger women, for the younger girls, have an older mentor, one who's been through, one who you can trust, has wisdom, so that when you're in these situations and you're chatting, if she had an elderly person and she's chatting, I think even like her mother, to say, no, my friend told me to go and she's cooking for the mom. African mom would just say, out, get her out of the house ASAP.
ASAP, exactly. You're right. You're right.
So there's that part which I saw. I don't call it. Maybe she was naive. Maybe expectations, and then also men. Come on, I'm not saying all men. I guess there's some angelic men, and there's some men that just do not see, vision. It doesn't affect them. But generally, temptation. I had a friend who was just saying how he just managed temptation. The wife's cousin came in and he did his best, and he's not someone who goes out cheating. He's just open with me. So this is someone who is very responsible, mature guy, from what I know. I've known him for years. It's not so for him to even have that thought. Why am I bringing in women? I'm not saying I shouldn't help, but maybe look for better solutions. Why am I bringing that temptation in my house?
Again, I hear you. And this is where people struggle, right? Because think about it. If I do really have a friend that has a need, right? You want to help,
An apartment, rent an apartment.
Well, again, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, and that's my thought exactly, that, okay, I want to help. But then sometimes we all are not in a place where we can help financially. And so you're going to think, okay, if I can help financially, let me at least do something to help, right? So you're going to say, okay, let me why you're, it's just human nature, right? We are not all going to think about danger right away. This is somebody I've known all my life. This is somebody that, it's like, this is my friend, This is my friend. I know her. We went to school together. We are best buddies. We went through things together. It's never going to cross your mind. Well, it may, but you're going to say, no, of course not now. And then you're going to say, oh, my husband, no, of course not. He won't do that because he knows that. But again, you're right. But we should always have our antennas up. We should always have our antennas up in this kind of situation. So when you start seeing that she's cooking for your husband, and the husband, you can say, okay, this is not really going the way I probably wanted to, and maybe kind of stop there. You are right. She should have paid more attention to some of the things that were already happening, because it was just, like you're right. Being an older person now, right? I know. I mean, I'm gonna, okay, this is just stop. That's too much. Yeah. So you.
Okay. But there's something, Amy, I'd like to throw in, right? Because I lived here first in the US, then went to Africa and came back. But while in Africa, there are a lot of things that they did that were just like, what is wrong with these people? That was my thought at first. So one of the first things, but now I understand it. I totally understand it. I understand why, like my culture, we didn't grow up there, so we weren't forced to, but you wear a htenge. I'm trying to remember your word. You call it, is it Ankara? In Zambia, it's called chitenge. You wrap it. So you can wear leggings in the house. You wrap that thing. whether it's your brothers, your fathers, your uncle, you wrap that, like there's nothing showing your shape. And then you know, you don't look into elderly eyes, but especially the men. You don't look into their eyes. If it's food, you give them and you go. So I think this problem has been existing. I mean, for those rules, like now that I think of it, you bow down and you go, you move away. The men are with the men, the women are with the men. I think they've understood men's weakness. And also like, let's say my brother-in-law, it's just that we didn't grow up in that culture, and I'm okay with him and I laugh with him. But generally, you don't laugh with him. You keep your distance. Everybody keeps your distance. There's no laughing and rubbing elbows, men and women. They don't even want. So they've understood this problem. But I mean, you're in hot pants and you go across. I don't know. I'm not giving the guys a pass. I'm not giving them.
See, that's where I was coming to.
I'm not.
You know, some
I'm
people
not.
will hear that and say, okay, it just seemed like you're giving the man a pass or a pat on the wrist, like we've got to protect the men folk. Do you see what I'm saying? And so I'm glad you mentioned that you're not giving them a pass. And I actually want to explore that further. But before I go on, I actually interviewed Bess Davis. He played the leading man in this movie. And one of the things he said, because people wanted to know, I've had him, for those of you, you know, please subscribe to my channel, Ameze Live, and subscribe to my podcast, Ameze Live. You're going to catch this episode with my lovely ladies here. And also with Bess. Bess Davis played Andy. He played the leading role. And I asked him from a man's perspective, what do men want? Why would Andy, he had a lovely wife.
Yes.
They had a good relationship. He's a medical doctor. She's, I can't remember what she was now, but she's educated in Waterview. She was going to be home. They had a fantastic relationship. And this lady came, the wife is pretty, you know, Andy's wife is pretty in Waterview. So I asked him, why would Andy cheat on his wife? Interestingly, he said something one of you ladies said, and I think both Anita and Mulala, and just to piggyback off what Mulala said about not letting your shape show, all that cooking in the kitchen and all that. I mean, I listened to him, as that's from a man's point of view, because I'm like, so what does that mean? That it's, so what even if the shape is showing? What if she's cooking in the kitchen? Well, he said, listen to how did Kukwa is the wife. She changed. That was his thing. Now that's a man's point of view. You're following what I'm saying. He's saying Andy's wife changed. Her behavior changed. Meaning if you watch the movie, for those of you who haven't watched the movie, go watch it. It's free. I'm not charging anyone. I got your back. It's on this channel. Go ahead and watch it. And he said she changed. Her behavior changed. So should that matter if you love someone? See, the reason I'm asking this is, I mean, I've asked, and also in this channel, my YouTube channel, I did an opinion poll. Interestingly, if you look at the poll, please guys, watch the poll. It's interesting to find that the men are the ones who didn't care to have a woman in the house. Why do you think that is? Didn't care to have somebody else moving to their matrimonial home. The women were like, you know, it's a friend, it's a sister, and the guy's like, no, just me and my wife. I'm done. I'm okay.
Yeah, I think, you know, again, I think the men, you know, like you said, I think Mulala said that earlier, right? Men will be men. I'm not saying I'm not giving them a pass too, but
you're saying they're wired and they do that.
They, you know, like, so this is something that's in front of them constantly every day, you know, like, and then in their house. And I'm going to tell a story. This is because Mulala, we do what we call the youth service. Like, we have this national youth service we do in Nigeria. And I remember that there was this guy, you know, he had a girlfriend, right? Beautiful girl. So she invites her friend to come to stay with them. This is youth service, so they, you know, stayed with them for I think a week or 2 weeks, and you know, so she comes into the house, she's the one that will wake up in the morning and sweep, like how we sweep. We sweep, right? So I'm going to use the word that we sweep the house. She'll be the one that wake up and she'll, this place is dirty. She'll clean. She started cooking because that's just, that's just who she no. Honestly, I know this girl. I know her. She was not pretending. She had no intention of getting the man. That's just who she is. She wakes up in the morning. She will sweep. She will clean. Even she comes to my own house. She will do the same thing. She will cook. She will do everything, right? And meanwhile, the rest of us. So the guy will come. This guy will come. He will take us out, all of us out, and then. And she'll be like, I'm tired, I can't, she'll stay home. So all of us are, along with his own girlfriend, are out partying all night. We'll partying, we'll come in the morning. By the time we wake up in the morning, she's already up. She's made breakfast for everybody.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would marry her too.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That was just
I'm being funny here, but that's go ahead.
No, so you can imagine
because I know this girl and I was in this situation, I know her. Because we were sharing an apartment together, youth service, right? We were sharing an apartment together. That's who she is. She wakes up in the morning, she makes breakfast, she sweeps, she cleans, she makes breakfast. She was doing the same thing she does. She was minding at home, just doing what she does. She doesn't like to go out, even when we're at home. I mean, we'll have people come, take us out. She's like, I'm tired, I can't go. She doesn't want to do any of those things. So this man is watching this girl. Watching this girl.
Wife material.
Praise the Lord.
We're all talking, and all of us are like, talking and just having fun. And she's like, she wants something to drink. She's going to bring, like the man. Long story short, he married her.
Yeah.
Of the person he was dating.
Right.
Again, like I said, the girls, it wasn't intentional. But look at what happened to Kukwa. Okay, who's there cooking? The girl, his half. They're cooking. Yeah, so
it's
so men love to be taken care of. I'm telling you, it is said the way to a man's heart is his food, and it's true. I know she's taking care of him, paying attention to him. I'm not saying that makes it right, right? But the fact is that it's not always about the shape and everything. It's always about, okay, how comfortable do I feel with this person? You come home, the food is ready, they're sitting down to chat with you, how was work, they're paying attention to you. That's men. Who doesn't like it? Even I want attention. I mean, when she was about, when we, because we shared an apartment for almost a year for youth service, when I was leaving, I was almost crying because I'm like, oh, can you come home with me? Because honestly, she would the place is clean, she would cook. So it's all about, am I getting what I need from this person? And you're going to look and say, okay, I really want this person that we're all partying all night, and I don't get fed. The house is dirty, my clothes are dirty. But there's this person who's doing everything that I really want, and then she's domestic, and she's really nice too.
So, Mala, what's your take on that? What do you think?
I'm gonna get a little bit controversial here, but first, I think it's not saying that it's any better, but I think you can give your friend and her husband now a little bit of wiggle space because they were dating then. Nothing is final until he puts a ring on your finger. I'm not saying it was a good situation, but I guess he was still, what's the word?
Searching, looking.
Yes.
Actually, sorry, they were engaged. They were engaged.
Well, this is my thing about that. I mean, I don't want to really cut into Mulala talking. I want to get back to you. Now, I can understand you saying the girl was just being herself. But then, did we lose Mulala? Oh, dear.
My battery is low.
Oh, no, Mulala.
I'm just trying to find my I'm trying to put it in.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
You can hear us. So what I'm saying
I can still hear you, so.
Right. So what I'm saying is, yes, she's doing her thing, which she does. It wasn't deliberate. But when the man asked to marry her, when they started dating, that part now was intentional. She knew he was engaged. She knew they were all friends. So she still crossed the line. So therein lies that thing of, you see, I mean, even if a man is looking at those things like, this one cooking, this one is domesticated, again, it's a selfish move. because he's
So
thinking of
that's where I was.
who he can have one over. Because, okay, yeah, she can this one. Because men also, they're not stupid. If you're domesticated, you're not the type to want to go out and what have you. That just gives him more room to be able to go out and hang out. And you just stay home and do the donkey work. Again, that's me. That's just me putting my soundtrack. Let's hear what Mulala has to say.
So one of the things I'm going to say, which is
So Malala, you're like your turn. Can you turn your because you're kind of okay, better, yeah.
Okay. So two things. I'm going to say two controversial things. One of the things is, I know we are born with it, whether we like it or not. Women are very manipulative. Sometimes it's not even conscious, right? Your female friend, that's how she is, but she can know that's what she uses to get men. Empowerment as well. So we know ourselves, we know our strengths and our weaknesses. Maybe initially that's not what she was going for. And also women can see also the guys, potential guys, at a certain point, and position themselves in a way that the potential guy will see them. I have seen the power. I have friends, so I know the games. It's not that they'll, especially African women, will go after the guy, no, but they'll position themselves. And also breeding, especially from my culture, you're bred to be able to trap guys. I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why when I look at the movie as well, I feel there was a little bit of manipulation from her best friend. Her best friend
Definitely.
already had the game. So it's definitely manipulation. So she's even the bigger culprit. But Andy, I'm not giving them a pass. Men need to grow up. Not all of them. You've got some mature guys who know what they want, who respect their women, but you also have a percentage who, like you're saying, Amy, it's all about them, childishness. It's about what I want when I want it. So your wife, before she was pregnant, was cooking for you. You never complained before.
Thank you.
You guys had an arrangement where you were happy. It worked for both of you. All of a sudden, this woman rocks up, and all of a sudden, this is what you want. This is, she wasn't doing things right. She was doing it better. No, it's because for them, it's almost like a new toy. Men need to also get mentors, I think elderly men, because if his intentions if he had the correct intentions or motive, let's say he's tempted, because you already know that's your weakness. Having a mentor, having a father, a brother, elderly, and going to say, hey, this is the situation, they would have steered him. He's having that temptation coming, but they would have steered him to say, you know what, it's not worth it. Or just having, if you're a Christian, some prayer group. But that's when it shows that you were trying to really, do the right thing. And he gave himself that excuse to be able to cheat. That's all it was. It was that excuse, yes, to just his next toy or next amusement thing. He's tired of this, so he's moving on to the next. I think they need to understand what marriage vows, what it really means. Love is a feeling. It will go, it will come and go, but it's about making it work. It's maturity. It's about growth. So he has no excuse at all.
Yeah. So this is my thing though. What if let's flip the story? And I've had people writing, and you should watch the poll. People should watch the poll. Again, this is Ameze Live YouTube channel, and also Ameze Live podcast. Go to the YouTube channel and watch the poll. What if we flip the script and it was Kukwa that stepped out, a friend, a guy, and this friend came in and she had the affair? Do you think how do you think Andy would have reacted?
See, and that's the thing, that men are so much, is it the double standard? I mean, really, if it was the woman that had stepped out, of course not. It's the verdict is definitely against her, because she was one, we know that as women, they expect better from us, but they don't put themselves to that standard. So definitely would have been Kukwa's fault for enticing somebody, even though the other man was the person that was after her, but they're still going to blame her for falling for that trap. And she would have been the person that definitely the man should be gone. Men cannot stand women who cheat. They don't.
Mulala,
because because it's more, it highlights their failures and inabilities, really. And so it's really more of an issue of pride.
You go. Okay. Okay.
Really pride. Really
I just want to say, and people listening, Zambian women are not bad. I'm not trying to paint a picture, but those men that can't stand women that cheat, they haven't met. They haven't met some of Southern African women, Zambia to be first. They haven't met. Let's put it this way: the women cheat in such a way that the men most of the times don't know. I mean, there are those where fine, the men don't care, but in marriages where they're cheating, there is no way, like even I, who is related to the woman, when I hear that she was cheating, I'm like, how, at what point, like, where did you even find the time? They are there to cook for the kids. They take the kids to school. They're there for the husband. He comes, they put the food, but they have an affair going on.
Right.
So it's almost like, and the men never find out. Like you're saying, Anita, I think if they find out, it would crush them. They never find out. And I think in their head, they're thinking, where would she go without me? And so that's what even makes it so funny when it shouldn't be funny. So we've got some slick Ricks down in Southern Africa. But anyways, double standards, as Anita has said, because when the man cheats, in my culture, they blame the woman still. She that wasn't cooking right. Like, you can't win in this game. She wasn't cooking right. She was looking like a nanny. She was everything. He left because of something she did wrong. Okay. In this case, so you're a woman, you're thinking, okay, you cheat. Oh my word, you're the embarrassment to the family. You brought shame on the family. It's like, you guys, what do you want us to do? Help us out here. So it's a little unfair it's unfair, not even a little. It's very unfair on the women, because if he can cheat, why can't? I'm not saying, my whole belief is marriage. If you decide you are done with this person, out of respect, divorce them, leave them, and go to the next person, both male and female. That's how I feel. I feel it's sacred union. But if you feel, rather than cheating, but I don't agree with the man can cheat. He's a man, these things happen. But the woman is, oh my goodness, she almost becomes like the devil herself.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And interestingly, one of the women I asked, and it's in that poll, actually 2 women, she said that she would still be friends with the girlfriend, the one who cheated, that backstabbed her. And and this is her reason. She's like, well, I didn't make any promise to her. The person I made a promise to is the person that she was married to. Do you guys agree with that?
Girl.
No, like, really? So you're still, this is somebody that already betrayed your trust. You brought her into your home because you wanted to help her out. And then, okay, so, let's suppose, I'm not saying this makes it better, but let's suppose, she really had no intentions and it happened, naturally.
Just happened.
Just happened, okay, maybe, but she was intentional in her, she plotted it out. She,
do you think she did really?
Huh? Yes, she did.
Think it just happened?
Yes.
No. It was intentional.
Planned it?
She planned it out.
She planned it.
She knew what she was doing.
She knew what she was doing.
She knew what she was doing. So and you trust that person to stab you again tomorrow? What for? No. Like I was saying, because I know we say it doesn't really make it different or make it better. But if it happened because they were not really trying to, and it just happened, and I don't really know how that would have happened where they were not really trying. Because at the point it would become intentional, right? But
she was just trying. She was just walking one day. She tripped. She happened to just fall.
but I'm saying, yeah.
I can't wait for you to stop.
I know, let's just suppose it. She really did not intend for it to happen.
And they fell in love.
And
find love where you find love.
They struggled with it. You could have seen where they were saying, no, we can't hurt my friend. You're like, all of that didn't happen. None of that happened. It was intentional. See somebody that is struggling with that happened where she said, we can't do this, let's part, let me leave the house. And then you see where they were struggling to stay apart, and end up that the love overwhelmed them, and they had to still, maybe I might have some sympathy, but this one, this was.
Mulala, I'm watching you. What's going on?
No, this was evil.
You're a better person than I am, Anita.
This was evil.
We're talking of sympathy.
I'm just saying. You see,
Anita is nice. She's nice.
God bless you, my sister.
I'm also a romantic, like I'm also a romantic. So
She said, God bless you.
That's my romantic part, still saying,
Anita's been hard too. She's taking
yeah. That's my romantic, and because you have to really, if you look at it, what are you gonna do when your heart is, like your heart is breaking and there's something you can do? I mean, that's my romantic.
You can kill.
I might give them the pass. I know I give them the pass.
Anita keeps quiet. That's why people kill people.
Exactly.
Okay, I don't agree with taking life.
Nobody agrees with it. It's called temporary insanity.
But if I'm still talking to you after this has happened, you better go to your God and pray, because
there's a plan in place.
I strategize. If I am still talking to you,
the strategization.
When you wake up, you won't even know what hit you. You would rather die. You won't even know what hit you. So
it's strategization of it all.
Oh my word! Shoot, I bring you in my home to help you. So there are two things. The guy, don't worry, Anita, I'll deal with the guy. Him, the lawyers, I'll make sure every single penny. Don't worry. He made a promise. We'll sort that out. Okay, I've got you. Then next, I've got, okay, girlfriend, you and me. Because we're settling this. In fact, I wouldn't even tell you if I'm still talking to you. Oh, no. God said forgive me, Father. But when you wake up, one of the days you wake up, it's not going to end well. It won't end well.
No, I mean,
friendship for me, trust. Honestly, it's not that. It's not. Please don't think I'm an evil person. I'm a very sensitive person, and even in my flawed state, I will, as a friend, I try and I give my all in friendships. I do, even in my flawed friendships. So when it's been betrayed, like people need to fast for me. I think that's the only point where they can help me.
Mulala, you're killing me here.
Mulala.
People need to fast.
No, Anita knows. Like, you have to fast. At that point, you just have to fast for me, because the spirit is willing, but the flesh.
I mean, I just want to say something with, like, this reminds me when we were young, right? And my mother, right? If you do something wrong, I'm not joking. This is because she would just be nice to you.
You've told me this.
Like, you are thinking you don't know where. She'd be like, oh, here, she'll offer you candies and stuff until you let your guard down.
Oh my God. Your mother was my kind of woman. That's
oh my God. And then this is like 10 hours.
I thought we were cool.
I thought we were cool. And she would say, really? Really, next time. Because honestly, you think, okay, she didn't say anything in the third hour. She's asking you if you've eaten. She's still tired.
That's me.
That's you.
So now you're convinced that she has really forgotten, because she just keeps on. She piles it on, and then, here comes the broomstick or whatever it is that she has when she has you by her side. She beats you down. Oh, yikes. Hey.
My kind of woman.
Oh, yeah.
And then your heart settles. You even forgive the person afterwards. You move on. I move on. Seriously, after that, I'm good.
After that, you're okay.
I'm okay.
You're ready to forgive.
We can even chat. We can even go out together.
After you
I've done damage. We're good.
Maybe she's lost one leg or one arm or something, right? It's gone.
We're
That's
good. We're okay.
interesting. That's so interesting. But I do find though, and this is what this woman said, that that people tend to go after the ladies, but the person you actually have a fight with, the person you should have a problem with, is the person who made vows with you, and that she will still be her best friend, will be her best friend. She actually tried to sell it to me because, again, she was the only one who said that. So I wanted her to make me understand, she's like, no, but you look at it. I didn't have any vows with her. I didn't promise to be faithful to, it's like, no, that's her friend will be her best friend, will be her best friend. But the man she had the vow with, now that's the one. And that women tend to go after other women. That the woman isn't the one who cheated, is the one you have the vows with.
If he had an affair with another woman, I'm not going after that woman. She's not my friend. She has no connection. She has not. But does this woman understand best friend, even not just a friend, best friend? Because usually those best friends are like your sisters.
Oh yeah, sometimes even closer.
If they don't have your back, yes, or even closer. If they don't have, if you can betray me, I think that's where maybe we're different, because it takes two to tango. So I'm not saying I won't do the man. Definitely, I mean, don't worry, he's got his stuff coming. But the girl, my friend, this is not even about the like you went and you cut me up like that, like for real.
Yeah.
So it's not even, that's not even the fact that yes, you had an affair, but that's what you can do. You can actually.
I mean, you're right. I mean, definitely, it hurts. I mean, come on, like I said, it hurts. It's never right. But you find that sometimes, like after some years, some friends do end up settling, and saying, okay, we know it was bad, but I think at that immediate moment, no, there's no way I'm going to be friends with that person. No way. It's like
you trust that friend again.
I mean, not to that extent. You are never going to trust her to that extent. I mean, if like they said, fool me once, but then you now know who she is. You know her for what she is. You may become friends, but maybe not as close. This is not like right. This is maybe like years later on, if you ever get maybe if you guys were close enough that maybe you guys are maybe sisters, friend, or where you cannot avoid meeting her. Like that kind of relationship is more. It's because at one point you're going to have to settle because you're still moving in the same circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our friends are friends with her. And so it's never going to be, you're never not going to be able to not speak to her forever.
Mm-hmm.
Because that means you're going to have cut off all your friends, because and you have your friends who are both friends with both of you that are now in the kind of a difficult position. So everybody's trying to figure out how to relate with
friction. Exactly.
There's friction. At the point, definitely you're going to have to figure out something out. But are you going to trust her? No. But you can definitely come to another level of friendship, but not the same that you were before.
Interesting.
And also, Amy, just to add, it's different if she came to me, and let's say it was true, where she says my husband is making moves on her and she doesn't want, then that attack is full force on him. That's different, because you had my back. You actually had my back. Mm-hmm. You came for me. I wouldn't even, from there, that's different. But you actually you knew this thing would break me. I think that's what, it's not about the affair. It's that that this would break me, because you're supposed to be there to have each other's back, to protect. And yes, we have flaws and relationships are not perfect, but you knew that this thing might even kill me, like emotionally, and it doesn't move you. I think that's what gets me.
There's a point you made there, and a lot of women, or not women, people will disagree with you, because when you go tell the woman, again, the woman doesn't necessarily appreciate it. She thinks that you're trying to break up a relationship. Is there a truth to that? Because that also came up, in my getting an opinion poll. Like, even if the woman, what would you do in that situation? Say the man was hitting on you, and you're like, okay, I'm going to tell my friend.
I will tell my friend. I mean, and if it breaks our relationship, that's fine. That's what it takes. But I will tell her. first of all, I'm going to take myself out of that position. Like I'm going to take myself out from that situation. So I know you're trying to help me, but at that point, as a friend, you need to remove yourself from that situation. And I will tell my friend, I'm going to say, look, I'm leaving because this is what happened. Your husband was trying to hit on me. You may not believe me, but just so that next time, be careful who you bring to your house, because see, because I'm your friend, I'm telling you, and you may believe me, you may not believe me, but I'm just saying to you, don't.
Yeah, Papa is a rolling stone.
Yeah, Papa is a rolling stone, so you have to be careful. You may not, of course, it may cause friction between us, but I'd rather that, it's fine. At least my conscience is clear. I told you, I've warned you. It's up to you whether you believe. If we are friends, really, and if we are really friends, like you said we are, you should believe me because I'm telling you the truth. And if I'm taking myself out of that situation, I should really tell you that something is wrong because I'm leaving, even though I don't have any way of taking care of myself. I mean, that's what I would do.
Mulala?
It's a true story. When I was younger, way younger, I was a teenager. I had my family friends, but I called a cousin, and we moved around in the same group of circles. She had a classmate who was dating this guy who lived near us guys. So we hung out with this guy because we were in Botswana and her classmate was back in Zambia. So we hung out together and we were like cool from, we're all Zambians. And then he made a move on her. And my little cousin was a little bit naive, and like she was even, like almost, she was in shock. Like, this is my friend's boyfriend. So she comes to me and obviously there's the problem solver, this empowered woman. I wrote the letter, sent it to, because he had written her a letter. That time we didn't have any texting and sending texts, no cell phone. So it was handwritten. I'm not sure the younger generation can even picture this, but handwritten letter. So he sent it to her, proposing to her and declaring his feelings and all that. So I told her, bring the letter. Don't worry, we'll sort this. I've got this. I took his letter. I wrote to her like, girlfriend, get rid of this crap. Woo! Big miss. I learned firsthand.
Right.
We've never talked ever since then.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was the biggest mistake of my life. Like, I should not have put myself there.
Right.
So I think sometimes you have to know your friend, because you have to know there's certain women that can handle the truth and there's certain women that can't. But if I were in that situation, I would let her know that something is not right. I'm not either comfortable to talk about it, and unless you want to hear the truth, then I'll just leave it like this, but I'm leaving. Or let the person know. I think women are different. Women are very, very different. And I think you have to know the kind of friend that you have. And it's not that one is weaker than the other. I think sometimes they're not ready to hear that. They can't take it at that time. Or maybe that's something they've known. And most of the times women have this sixth sense. So it's not like you're telling them anything new about the guy. So if they tell you you're lying or something, they can't handle it emotionally. So I don't know if I want to. That's the only reason I wouldn't tell you, because I don't know if you're emotionally okay to hear this, especially if you've been hearing it 600 times. When I'm coming to you, it might not even be new. I mean, this has been on the block. So is this something I want to add to you?
I didn't think that, but there's a point there. Is probably turning against you as a coping mechanism. She's probably embarrassed.
Yes.
That you now know.
Yes.
So like you said, it's probably not new to her. Interesting.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's true.
Because that's what people say. Like, why tell her? It has broken relationships. You tell the woman, you become the bad friend. Because sometimes the husband will even preempt you after the past and just goes to tell the wife that, this is a bad friend. I don't, and there have been cases like that. I mean, believe me, when I first did this move, I went around asking people were like, don't tell the woman. She's going to turn against you.
You know what, and I'm okay with that, because at the end of the day, look at the situation you are in, okay? Because if the friend doesn't want to talk to me, I'm fine, because do I really want to keep that relationship where the man is constantly there? Like, now it's because I try to hit on you, right? And because if you remain friends with the woman, then you are still going to have to deal with him.
You make sure you're not alone with him. You don't understand. I mean,
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. So that whole stress for me,
okay.
make sure it's not my name's in the same place.
I'm grabbing your butt.
It's like, come on. Like, so it's too much. I mean, if she doesn't believe me,
Reasons.
Fine. Because I personally don't like to be in stressful situations, because if I'm going to be friends with you, then I want to be friends with you all the way. So if tomorrow your husband smiles at me and then she's not going to become angry, or like, now she's suspicious of me all the time. No, I don't need that extra,
No, it's annoying.
It's annoying.
You don't even care for the idiot.
Yeah. So it's if a relationship breaks up because she's not happy and she doesn't believe me, I'm like, okay, that's fine. Let's move on. It's life. But if she understands and she says, okay, let's work together. I kind of understand my husband maybe a little bit, maybe, and I try to find to make us both comfortable with.
What is he? A teenager? What is that?
Whatever he may be.
Like, I know, my dear.
Yeah.
He's like that. He can't keep his hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Touchy feely. You're an idiot.
Some women know it. Like she said, some women, they know it.
No, I know. That's why we said some women will they will then turn it against you. Like, oh, you're the one trying to, because they're embarrassed. But what if she comes to you and say, he touched your boobs, right?
And I've had those as well who say, that's how it is. Oh, you'll get tired. Someone has said, you'll get tired.
This is actually something a friend shared with me, but it was her auntie's husband. God, men are just irritating. They can be. And he would do things like that. And then she wasn't comfortable. I know, wasn't comfortable coming around. She's like, is it so women are is he talking to you? That's how he's still minding. He can't do anything. And that she was so embarrassed. Initially she denied it because she's like, no, I can't let her know. But it's like, it's probably that's what it is. You're not the only one. My friend told me this, growing up in high school.
You know what's funny?
It's a clown.
It's the one where you're saying he can't do anything.
They can't do anything. That's how he is. He's trying to touch you, right? He does that. You're not the only one. Feel free to come to the house. What clown? That is just, wow. And that she denied it. Like, no, he's not, because I guess it was easier for her to deny it than to because she felt embarrassed for her. Like, why would she be in a situation like that? But yeah, she was like, if that's what it is, don't worry about it.
Oh my God.
If that's how he is, don't worry about it. Still come to the house. He's, you're not the only one. That's what he does. What nonsense.
So this is one of those women that is resigned. She knows why she's in the marriage.
It's supposed to be funny. This is not supposed to.
But I will tell you this.
Sad.
She knows why she's in the marriage.
Sad.
I will tell you this though, and I think I've shared this with Anita before, and I'll probably share with you, Mulala, outside of prying eyes and ears. But there's a friend of mine, and I think you know her. I've talked to you about her before. I was going through something way back when. That was some stupid relationship I was in. So this person's husband, everybody knows. You're gonna get over that, Mulala. I know. It's
making you look like a fool.
But that's a nuisance. He's got a problem. But the reason why I'm even bringing up the story is related to something like this. This man, everybody knows he cheats. To me, in a relationship is more about respect. I mean, I don't know what you do behind you. You don't know what I do behind you, and that's the truth, So it's all about respect. So it's a game, you're with me, I'm with you. We're all just putting on our best A game, I guess, whatever, But everybody knows that this man cheats. I mean, yeah, we see him with different women. Everybody knows. But she's always like, my husband this, my husband that. And I was like, stop it. You went in town last week. He was with some other lady. But do you know what I think? Because she's not stupid. She's a very successful woman. She's playing a game because she's always out of town. And then it just occurred to me one day, she's probably doing it. There has to be a way. There has to be a way she's coping with that nuisance.
Problem fixed. I told you.
See, no, but you know, that's so true, because women, I'm telling you, when we
Anita, you know her. If I'm not going to talk about her on camera.
No, let me. But
she is always. I mean, like she's out of town, and she's. I mean, I'm like, and every time, everybody knows. To me, this is disrespectful. Even if you're going to play it away,
Yeah.
Everybody knows. So every time I found she's always out of town, she's always doing this. She's always seems so happy. I'm like, and then one day it was like I had a eureka moment. Like, oh, she must be. You have to have a way to cope. You're not drinking. You're not. She's got her own thing.
No, but like you said, you know, women.
Mulala is like,
right? Because some people stay because of their children, like we said, right? Children. Some people stay because the man allows them to spend money anyhow.
How do you cope?
You know, coping, right? Or you know, she's able to travel. I mean, really, for all you know, I don't know. She may not be doing anything, but she just her own is just let me spend
She's
it.
so happy.
No, but I'm just saying. Let me spend the money. Let me enjoy my life.
You know what? She has money.
But that's what I'm saying. But then she's also using the man's money. There has to be something that she's doing.
Yeah,
And it may not really be that she's somebody else, but there's something else that's satisfying her.
Think about it.
There's something keeping her in it.
It's like,
no, but I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be.
No, the kids are grown. The kids are out of school.
But
so that's Nesta.
But Amy, I'm saying that you don't know what it is. There may be something else that she's doing.
You can't know with marriage.
Maybe giving her satisfaction. Yeah, something's going to happen. Let me say this. Let me just say this. I don't know. This is just me saying. She could, because, okay, you're in your own house, right? Okay. And it doesn't have to be another man. It could be that you have your own toys. No, listen.
They have to wire the battery.
Listen. There are some people that enjoy their toys a lot. You are in your own house.
A lot of women do.
But listen, if you're in your own house, listen, you're in your home, your husband is here, your house girl is here. You don't have the freedom to enjoy your toys as much as you want. But at least if you're in a hotel room by yourself, you can do whatever you want.
Free at last.
That's what I'm saying. So it could not be maybe.
Oh, I love my friends.
It may just be her with her toys and just having fun.
That's an expensive trip to go enjoy a toy.
No, but really? Oh, you really?
No, I'm not. Hey, get me right. I'm not.
Amy,
you can't travel with your toys. You should travel with your toys by all means. But what I'm saying is, we're talking. Your toys don't love you back. This is what I'm saying.
But I hear
it's about respect.
Okay, but she's
seeing his disrespect.
She's getting back at him somehow. But
he's not getting back at him.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying that I'm not agreeing that it has to be some other person. But I think there's some way she's getting back at him.
Yeah, it's looking
some way, but we don't know how.
I'm almost tempted to ask her, like, girl. You're looking even more beautiful than the last time I saw you. What gives? What's going on?
Let me understand. This is a successful, beautiful woman.
Yes.
Anita, what were you saying? She can go buy, if it's sex, let her go buy. I mean...
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying...
No, I'm just saying, looking at our previous conversation, because it's money. He doesn't have money.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, he has money. He has money.
But she's got money.
No, he's really wealthy.
But she's wealthy.
She's wealthy, but he's way more wealthy.
So she should just be stacking his money as of now.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no problem there.
She's enjoying.
This is not a problem. Yeah. You can cry in Paris. You don't have to cry in the US. You can go and cry on a cruise, one of the top expensive cruises. Go and do some shopping there.
Right? That's what I'm saying. That there's some satisfaction she's gaining.
Yeah.
Here. She's always
Make
traveling.
Sure you max it out when you're leaving. Mm-hmm.
She's always traveling.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, because she is, I think for her, a satisfaction is that she's spending.
I get your point though.
A major part of his money, and that satisfaction comes from.
Throw parties at the game.
Yeah,
this is not a problem.
Two things, take the pictures of you enjoying your life and send it to him.
But she should also get a toy boy, you know?
But yeah, I mean, I hear you guys, but see, it's not.
No
It's
commitment.
not as easy
It's
as
not
that.
always. It's not as easy as
It's
it.
not always about getting Amanda, but well, that's what I
Yeah.
talk about, the emotional aspects of it, because I don't think they're getting, I mean, outside the money and water view, what else is left? You know, in a marriage, there's companionship. If you don't have that intimacy, you don't have that companionship, then
True.
really what
That's
is
true.
the point? It gets to a point, even going to Paris to cry and drink champagne, and after a while, you actually want to make room for someone who really wants to be there for you.
Going to Paris to drink champagne with her.
No, but that's why we're trying to understand what is keeping her there, because women have a reason.
There's
It's
always
not kids. It's not the money. It's not, so there has to be something for her to be disrespected as a woman. And I keep on saying we're emotional beings.
Respect. Everybody knows.
We're emotional, because one, especially being a background, we're told to be prideful, you know, to have that pride. And so for you to be kind of degraded, where the whole, your groups, your friends,
where your
no,
friends are, where the family.
no,
You know what I mean?
we need to
People
have
with
an
a different
understanding.
person.
There's something. There's no way. There's something. You know, if it was money, you'd say no, she has to stay for money. If it was the kids, she's protecting the kids. If it were like we were saying, hey, this guy can rock her world, I'm not sure what it is. You know, I mean, the only joke I can come up with is, you know, I had a friend who the husband would do everything, you know, she wanted. And the other friend would be like, which native doctor did you go to?
Baba.
Because she can't make out. Yeah, it's just a joke. But yeah, we can't figure it out.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, but there's something that she's definitely doing, but that's keeping her happy.
Right.
And you know, honestly, if it's me, I mean, and because for me, the idea of maybe somebody else, it just doesn't seem like feasible because of the amount of travel, you know. So I'm thinking that there's something else that keeps her happy. It could be like accumulation of the wealth, like she's, you know, like something that she's doing that's keeping her happy. And for us,
how long are you gonna accumulate wealth for? You're getting older too.
but that's people have different reasons, you know, like, of doing it. So we don't know. So for you, you might like, oh, I definitely need the companionship. Like, no, I don't care. Give me money.
True.
You know, like, can I look nice? Can I have my $10,000 Gucci bag? You know, can I, you know, no. So everybody has. I mean, you're at a stage in your life where the things that you're looking for are a little bit different. I don't know. I mean, if it were me, I don't even know if I would be doing that. I would just be happy by myself, honestly. Just show that display that I'm happy.
Right.
Show that display that I'm happy. I'm spending your money and I'm happy spending it. I'm going to show you my $10,000 Gucci bag that I bought yesterday on your account. I'm buying another one tomorrow on your account. You can't.
And there are a lot of those going on too. The Gucci bags and right. Well, it could be that because there's a lot of spending. Yeah, she spends.
Yeah. And I'm at this hotel. It's $20,000. I just put on your credit card, by the way. You know, those things, there's a pleasure in doing those kind of things. And like, or you know, yeah, because you just want to, you know, do it.
Right.
I'm a companion kind of gal. I mean, even though I talk a lot of crap, I think companion matters as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna get no lazy ass and then say companion. No,
I was about to say that.
No, it doesn't work like that. No. If I'm making a certain amount, you have to make above me. That's default. But all I'm saying is,
that's
okay. I mean, hey, that's the truth. Love is not going to pay rent. It's not going to pay mortgage. It's not going to pay Jack. It's not even paying our retirement. We're getting younger. So the love crap, yeah. Anyways, it's just that if we've been married and I married you, women are emotional. I married you because I loved you usually, right? And we've been friends and then you're disrespecting. I mean, not even forget, okay, love or friends, but at least we had that respect in it. And then all of a sudden, my friends know about it. I mean, I'm still thinking of that aunt who he made me. I don't want to get to that level. I mean, you're not degrading me to that level, and no amount of money should put me. It happens, I'm out. I think because of pride. There is no way. There is just no way. Everybody knows. No, I just do not think any amount of money can pay for that.
I agree. I mean, for me, I'm always like good riddance to bad rubbish because really,
It's just I'll just make sure when I
I don't
leave
have,
your ass broke.
I don't have the energy. I'm telling you, I don't have the energy. I mean, I mean, you're already broke. Keep your broke ass somewhere and leave me alone because you're now extra trouble for me now.
The lawyers, I will use to divorce you. You're paying for those lawyers. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. I have so had fun hanging with you guys. I'm telling you, they're going to be back. I mean, again, thank you so much, Anita and Mulala. We kept it real. We kept it real. We did. And wow.
I hope, yeah, I hope,
okay.
What I'll be thinking of today is the auntie, did he touch you? No, just come to
We touched on a number of everything, threesomes, toys, infidelity. Again, all this was taken, or we piggybacked off I Got Your Back, the movie. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's actually free. I'm showing it, I'm letting you watch it for free for now on my channel. And see it, let me get your comments. And remember to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ameze Superstar. I thought we lost you again, Mulala. I can see your fingers. At Ameze Superstar. And you can write to me directly. I'm sure I'm going to get letters. I'm always getting letters. People write. Who knew? I didn't know people write like this. People really write. So, but guys, you writing, it would be nice also if you, leave your comments. These ladies are going to be back because this is what I want. Girls, us girls, ladies, women, just keeping it real because there's nothing new under the sun. Okay, there's nothing we're going to talk about.
Nothing new.
That is new. Okay, so we're just going to keep it real. So these ladies are probably going to be my regulars, and they're busy ladies. Now these are powerful ladies. Okay, they took our time today to hang with me, and I'm so grateful. Anita, do you have any last word?
Oh, well, it was really nice hanging with you, Amy and Mulala. I miss because see, Mulala doesn't look too far from me. I really miss our girls' night out. This COVID thing needs to stop.
It has to
right now, honestly. I mean, so but Amy, it was nice talking to you. I know you live far away from me, but at least we get to talk often. But it's good seeing you, like seeing you while we're talking. So, thank you for having me on, and please, guys, I'm a nice person. Whoever is listening to this, I'm not bad. Don't mind what I said. I was just trying to be real, but.
No, but she's real, and that's what we need. We need realness. We do need realness. And Anita, you kept it real. Thank you so much. Miss Mulala, any last words?
First off, it's been fun. This has been
Lady will be
fun.
fasting for. I don't want to. I will have to fast for you.
They always fast for me, but this was fun. This was really, really fun. It was real talk. And especially being locked up in COVID, I needed this. I so needed this. Anita, we have to soon somehow link up with the masks and gloves and somehow.
There are ways of doing it. People stay in their cars, like
drive through lunch or something.
Yeah, drive through lunch.
We can do a drive through lunch.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Something.
Amy, I hope to see you in the States soon. I just want to say, relationships, as Amy has said, nothing new under the sun. And I think for women, try to get a mentor, a woman, older woman, and one who has wisdom. Don't just go to any. I mean, I have some older women I know who are just not cases. I mean, like the one Amy was talking about, who says, "Oh, it's okay, he touches." Don't go to that. Don't go to that one. Don't go to that one. Go to one who has wisdom. Don't go to one who tells you, even if it comes at 2 a.m. you're the main dish. Don't go to that one. Skip her and go to the next one. Get a woman who has wisdom and who can navigate. Marriage is not easy. Relationships are not easy. So get someone who can navigate, someone you're comfortable with, because when you're going through certain situations, someone might see it differently. You might see it wrong. You might be naive, but you have someone who might just, see it differently. 2 or 3 people that you trust and get the perception. And then you make the decision. Don't be moved by their decision. And then for the men as well, I think mentoring as well. I know men don't say a lot, but I know you understand your strengths and weaknesses. I think you just have to start opening up, get a mentor, talk about these things. They might help, you know, resolve some of the situations that we're in. But other than that, I had fun, ladies.
Lovely. That was really nice. I was just going to say the same thing, that men also need mentors.
Yes.
Because navigating a relationship, and even more so marriage, is it's not easy. You know, any kind of relationship is not easy. You need to feed it, for one, and you need to have people that can also be your strength when you're not feeling that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes. So I had a blast. Thank you so much, guys. And like I said, this is something we're going to be doing, you know, if we just have girl hangouts and just, I should have, you know, I thought about this earlier on. It was just Anita. It's all Anita's fault.
Yes, yeah, of course.
Shame, Anita.
Blame Anita, of course.
It's all Anita's fault. And today she's really participating. I've always wanted to do this, and I'm glad.
And that's true. She has always wanted, and I'm like, please.
Like, let us girls, you know, just have, you know, hangouts and just talk about stuff, anything. It doesn't matter, but we're keeping it real, you know. From time to time, we might have other people join us, or one of us, or what have you, but I'm going to have this ladies back because I like the realness. Thank you so much. I feel honored that you able to hang with me today. Again, this is Ameze Live online and Ameze on YouTube. Until I come your way again, please subscribe to my channel. Please share this video and come back for more. Okay, so bye, ladies. Say
All right.
bye, ladies. Bye.
Bye.
You
Bye-bye.
say God bless.
You too.
God bless.